Yes. Recording Carter?
Yeah, but
Okay, then we're just leaving. All right, welcome everyone to a work session of the Mount Crescent View Town Council, and the topic tonight is the Green Deed Program. And presented to us is Shannon. Hi, Shannon. Or, no,
I'm over here.
Joe. Hi, Shannon. You sit there.
I made her sit up here.
Yeah. So I've kind of talked about this a little bit before, but we have Lisa here to walk us through what this program looks like. And we put $50,000 into the budget for this program this year. And it's again for energy efficiency upgrades for our deed restricted units up here. So I was just gonna have Lisa walk us through the program and then take questions, if that works for everybody.
Great.
All right, thank you. Well, thank you very much for having me up here. My name is Giza Michael, and I am the GB Heat Coordinator as part of the Gunnison Valley Regional Housing Authority. GB Heat stands for Gunnison Valley Home Energy Advancement Team, and it's kind of like a standalone program of the Housing Authority. And we've been doing work since 2017 in the valley, and it's mostly energy efficiency upgrades for income qualified homes. If you want to go to the next slide. So so that's really what GB Heat does, is provide energy efficiency upgrades for income qualified homes in the entire Gunnison Valley and also in Hinsdale County as well. And there is a bunch of programs. I'm not going to go through all those programs today, but I just wanted to kind of list them up. There are different kind of programs that we're managing, the CARE program, the program through Energy Smart Colorado. We're also helping facilitate the Western Weatherization Assistance Program that's federally funded. CARE is state funded, and Green Deed, that's what we're talking about today. Green Deed is locally funded. So really that's the differentiation between those programs. And then, so Green Deed specifically is a program that is not checking the income qualification. That's what I do with a lot of other homes to make sure, households, to make sure that they qualify for the programs. They have to have an income qualification. They have to submit some kind of income documentation. With Green Deed, that is not the case. So basically, with Green Deed, everybody who lives in a deed restricted home or who is an owner of a deed restricted home qualifies. And I think here there's about 80 deed restricted places in CD. The process that we would do, and we do that with all the other programs as well. We will there's obviously an enrollment process, so we would have to market and people enroll. And then an analyst, I'm working with a couple of analysts here in the valley. They would do an energy analysis on the home. And then I'm working with a software program. So they provide recommendations of what to do in the home, and they provide a report. And that report is an energy report. As part of their assessment, they're also doing a blower door test. I don't know if you've seen them. There's one right here in the picture. Basically what they're doing is they are putting this door in the main frame of the house. They're depressurizing the house. So basically they're doing a reverse effect of what happens in the winter, that they push the air out, and then you can go around and literally feel where the cold air comes in. And so then there's a blower door number basically that you get from it, depending on how leaky the home is. If houses have heat recovery ventilators, you can do more air sealing. If they don't, then you have to stop at a certain point with regards to air sealing measures. And so typically the energy analyst then gives recommendations of what to do, and always a big part is the air sealing within the home. That's a pretty cheap, effective way to reduce your air leakage, basically the air moving out and out of the house, and then so that you don't have to heat the outside air basically coming in too much. Oh, okay, and then the recommendations are based on a savings to investment ratio. So there can be measures that can be done, but they don't make any sense financially. So in the report, I see, and I work with the energy analysts, what kind of measures make sense to do. And then we've also, there would be like for each person who's participating, there would be a $50 enrollment fee. And it's just to give people a little bit of a buy-in into the program. What kind of upgrades can be done based on that savings to investment ratio? The SIR, LED light bulbs is still a big thing. Like it basically, if you replace one incandescent light bulb with an LED light bulb, when we put in soft ones, it's paid off within a year. So basically the return on investment is like you get you save $10 per light bulb per year in energy usage. That's big, right? So even if you put in 5 light bulbs, that's already a big thing. And then I mentioned the air sealing measures. It can be caulking around windows, around exterior, like the weather stripping around the doors, in boiler rooms, the penetrations to the outside, all that stuff can be sealed, and it depends on each individual house, what's happening. Then you can add insulation. It's easier if it's a single family home to do work in the attic or in the basement or in the walls, but I know there's a lot of people living in condos in Mount CB, so the insulation measures may not be as significant in terms of what kind of recommendations can be done. And then we have, programmable thermostats. That's also a big thing with regards to heating. A lot of people have manual ones in there that you do, and the programmable ones, that's like oftentimes really simple way to change out and save energy. Then water saving devices, and we've also replaced refrigerators. They can save if they have new compressors. So if they're like 10 years or older, we typically replace them and then recycle the old one. And they have new compressors that are a lot more energy efficient. And the new ones on average save like about $80 a year. So, so that's in terms of measures. So we've talked about like, what is a good kind of number to invest into a home. You don't really want to go overboard. Oftentimes people want new windows. That is one of like the last measures that would be done, probably not as part of this initial Green Deep program. It takes about 70 years to pay off a new window from energy savings. So what would this like $5,000 amount include? The $450 goes to the energy analyst doing the energy assessment and the report. We would do work up to $4,000 in retrofit work. My experience is like with condos, you won't get there. Maybe you will be at 2,000. Kind of depends on how old their fridges are. And can go up with single family homes. And then I have also like a little bit of a marketing portion in there and a $400 per home GB heat administration fee. So I wanted to just give you a little bit of a, what the experience that we had. We started this program, with the town of Crested Butte in 2021. So we are now in year 3 with the town of Crested Butte doing exactly the same thing, right? So in 2000, as an example, because we have a year that's finalized in 2022, we had a $30,000 budget. We retrofitted 15 homes. We put in per home, this is just the investment, the upgrades was $2,550. I'm working with the program that I'm working in is I'm punching in every retrofit that we're doing. I'm punching that into a software program that calculates energy savings. And that program is through Energy Smart Colorado. I'm working really closely with those guys. And there you had like about last year you had about the calculations, right? These are not actual numbers, but these are the energy savings projections to be $220 in annual savings, energy savings per home. That's pretty significant. And also a 19% reduction in air leakage. That's also really big. Like one of my other programs that I'm working with, their goal is to achieve 10% air leakage reduction. So what we achieved there, 90% air leakage reduction is big, right? And so with Mount Crested Butte, as we're going through this program, I am envisioning similar kind of ability to report. And I'm, working with staff to report on where it's going to. So I'm gonna go to the next slide. So this is, I think, something that we're envisioning, and this is for you guys to discuss and decide on in 2024 to do 5 to 10 homes. And then for us, to GB Heat to manage those kind of like basically the whole program, working with the contractors. And then I am also working with other funders. I can get other funding through Tri-State Generation, through GCA, and through Atmos Energy. I've been doing that with the Green Deed program in Crested Butte. So I think I can do on an individual basis with those utilities mainly as well, as they have different kind of rebates available. So that's kind of like just a very short introduction of the Green Deed program. And I wanted to see, just if you have questions, things that I can answer, ideas.
Questions?
I know some folks that have gone through this program down in town, and one of the comments that they had was the refrigerator is working just fine. It might be inefficient, but here we're throwing this refrigerator away, we're recycling it, and there's a certain use that's still available, but they're getting this new one. What's the best way that you've been able to maybe offset those concerns, whether it be repurposing or like a more intensive way of recycling it? I don't know, I'm just.
Right, it depends on how old it is. And I mean, this is just something that I hear, like, that's why we have this kind of guideline of 10 years. I've seen fridges that are 10, 15, 20 years old that we've been replacing. And the idea is really they are like those new ones are significantly more energy efficient, right? So with that program, we're trying to just get them off the market. So we're recycling them. And And that is part of the fee, you know, that is included in that whole. Yeah.
And what happens to them? They just go to the dump?
They go into the landfill and the freon is being recycled,
Largely, they're just.
I thought though, I mean, they, if you go down to the dump, they do have a specific section for appliances, and I guess I was under. Maybe you're wrong, but I thought there was some additional recycling being done with them versus like. Truly landfilling them, that at least like the metal is being recycled. Yeah, but I don't know that, it's just.
It's a good question. I'm not sure. I know they definitely take that freon out, right? Like, because it costs something to take. Fridges to the landfill, but really like just the going rate, what I hear is to the. Like, we're not trying to keep, I mean, we're trying to get their energy hogs, right? And so we're just trying to get them off the market.
Thanks.
Thanks.
Other questions?
Good question. Did the town of Crescent Butte, reach their maximum number? I think you said 15, right? 15 homes, was that, did they reach the maximum number every year?
Well, so it's interesting because we started with. The goal in 2021 was 12 homes. And I might get my years mixed up. We did 15 homes in 2022. Just because I knew I could do more homes with the money that was available. And actually this year in 2023, we did now 18 homes. Our goal had been 15 again, and I just, there had been more money available, so we put that in. The restraint on how many homes can be done is contractor availability. And so that's, you know, just to get the contractors to do the work.
So how did that work? Because it sounds like you said, first year QB did, that you number, but then you went to 15, then you went to 18, and if you add our 10 here, how was that gonna function?
I think it's gonna work.
So it'll work?
I think so. I don't know. I mean, that's the one thing we are, we're not gonna increase the number, I think, in Crescent Butte in terms of the amount. And that's always like, that's why I'm thinking it's pretty realistic to do 5 here in Mount CV. And it kind of it's gonna be seeing like how people are responding to it, you know, are they, how interested are they, and then what type of homes are applying, right? Like how quickly can you do a turnover, and then if you go do a condo, the turnover is gonna be faster, right? So yes, it's
And then. Sorry if I'm hogging this.
No, please.
What'd you say, we have 80 deed restricted homes somewhere in town, something like that?
8 or something.
Yeah, so let's say 80 out of, what do we have, like 800 structures, so about 10%, is that right, roughly?
Sounds about right.
Okay,
Won't
well,
say
like,
for certain.
I guess, is this, this is obviously for dealership properties, but I mean, someone, you know, like myself who doesn't fall in that, could be interested in something like this, you know, how, is there another program that's similar to that, that's maybe not sponsored by, you know, the towns, but it's still available for some kind of energy assessment thing?
yes, absolutely. So that is actually also starting in 2024. There are subsidies through Tri-State and also GCEA to do an energy assessment on people's homes for $50. So it's just that you just apply and enroll through a different means, and then the up to, you know, that amount, the assessments of the $450 is subsidized through Tri-State and Energy Smart, and then the retrofits then you're hiring
Right.
your contractors on your own to do the work.
Okay, good to know, thank you.
Yeah. mhm.
Dwayne?
When I look, at this, $30,000 budget and 15 homes retrofitted. And then the next item, bullet point there says 2550 average investment, so. To me, those numbers don't match up, and I'm wondering how you get an average of 2550 on a $30,000 dollar budget with 15 homes being done. I'm just curious how those numbers.
Well, this is only the retrofit numbers. So then in addition, you have had marketing, the assessment fees and the admin fee to GB Heat.
Okay, so the budget number only includes part of the cost of doing one.
The total budget includes all the work. The assessment, the admin fee and the retrofit work. This $2,250 is only the amount of money that was put into the house to retrofit it.
Now I'm more confused than when I started.
They didn't necessarily need the $1,500.
Mhm.
Correct.
But if it was 4,000 for 15 homes, it'd have been 60,000. So I guess what
Yeah.
Mike's saying here is that 2550, the average investment, is some of that also paid by the homeowner that's not part of the budget?
We've given some homeowners the opportunity, but we stopped at a certain point when there's the savings to investment ratio doesn't make any sense, right? When we said, okay, we'll do air sealing, we'll do LED light bulbs, we'll give you a programmable thermostat, but it could be that it doesn't amount to the full $4,000, though that work.
So
Yeah.
his concern here,
That's good.
his concern is 2550, 2,550 times 15 is 38,000. And the budget's 30.
So
So
where'd the other 8,000 come from?
I'm not sure right now. Oh, I know, from the additional funding. So
Oh,
through,
from,
from Tri-State
oh,
and
okay.
TCA.
okay, I got you. Cool, thank you.
Nice
When I
job.
look at it.
Spot.
I just-
It's on my map.
Yeah.
All right, any other questions or spot, I did have, so just so I'm clear, there is no income qualification, it's whether you're in a deed restricted unit or not, and that's the end of the inquiry.
The income qualification has been like, however, people have,
To get into the deed restricted unit in the first place,
exactly.
okay, understood. All right, anybody else have questions?
And that's a good follow-up just to, we're doing the deed monitoring. So that's good that my program is housed under the housing authority. So we will only serve those homes that are compliant.
Yes,
So,
yeah, that's important.
and so we'll check on that before serving the homes.
Great.
Would there be any interest or reason to maybe try to more focus on lower AMI levels, or is it just deed restricted units? Because there's a lot of folks that have built a pretty nice single family deed restricted home. And I don't know who are we really trying to impact here.
Well,
People who are aware and they can like get in the
Yeah.
door, or people that just need it.
so there, and Lisa can probably do this better than I can, but my understanding is that like a lower deed restricted, this pot of money can be specifically for deed restricted, and then lower AMIs can have the exact same situation, but it's funded through the CARE program from the state.
Okay.
There's just different entities to do the same thing for different AMIs, but this specific program is specific to our deed restricted units.
And I think, We actually did an energy assessment at our unit, on our unit, but we didn't really qualify for any sort of assistance. But it was there, otherwise. I'm just wondering though, you were talking about 5, maybe, and just with the numbers from Crested View and Benares of about 10%. I'm thinking you might get more call, you might hit 10 a lot sooner than that. I mean, do you expect this to grow next year necessarily, or?
So I think because this would be the first year, we just kind of have to start and see what the demand is for it. And I know with the town of Crested Butte, there's been a wait list.
Right.
And there still is a wait list. So so I'm hoping for that also, because actually it makes programming a lot easier to have a wait list, because then you can, like, really the most difficult factor to figure out is how to work with the contractors and to do it according to their schedules. So.
So the all important question to me is what is your ask? What is it specifically that you want from us?
I think, and Shannon, you helped me with that, right? Like, we've worked with the staff about the program is basically that we would enter into an agreement that we as GB Heat will facilitate this Green Deed program here in Mount Crested Butte for an amount that you all determine.
Yeah, so the next steps on the memo just says. Town staff would like direction from council to move forward with an MOU with GB Heat to begin Green Deed program in 2024. So this is kind of like an informational thing. We already have this kind of earmarked in the budget, and we just wanted to make sure everybody understood the program and there was no major red flags. So if there's any red flags against us moving forward with an MOU with the housing authority.
So we already have,
Yes.
we already have money in our budget for
Mhm.
this,
Mhm.
which is, how much?
50,000.
Now I remember.
Okay.
That's a good
Okay.
question.
Okay.
All right, any other questions for Lisa? Thank you so much for your time tonight.
Thank you.
Thanks, appreciate it.
you. Thank you. Thank you for your questions.
All right, does anybody need anything before we go?